Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's Christelle Martinette, and I have a special reading for the full moon lunar eclipse on August 7th. And I'll explain how I'm going to do that, and perhaps some of you who don't want to see the entire video, please timestamp it below. I'm not going to do it because I think the whole reading is particular and it would be interesting, and especially at the end there's a message for all the signs together. Now, first let me put in a plug for my contest. You can visit the page on my website. Just look under the main menu, it'll say contests. You go down and then it'll say past life regression contest with all the rules. And it ends the 23rd of August at midnight Central European time. But you'll find that on my website. Now, I'm going to do I'm going to do a reading today that uses a deck called, let me pull it out, the Kipper cards. And the Kippers, for those of you, it's not a very popular deck, many people don't know about it. The Kippers are German, and until very recently we haven't found them in English. And this goes back, I would like to say this 15th, 16th century, but this is a deck created by Ciro Marchetti. Ciro Marchetti, I'm not a fan of Ciro Marchetti's, and I don't care for his Lenormand cards, but I have to say, he did a great job in adapting this for an English audience, and he contextualized it. He'd framed these Kippers in the turn of the century, fin de siècle. You can see it's at around 900, and he contextualized it in England in that period. And it was a challenge for him because the Kippers are not like la Vera Sibilla, obviously, and they are not like the Lenormands. They have a different take on things. Just every deck is particular, and I'll be showing that to you. And then just to keep in tune with the Celtic, European, UK flavor here, I'm going to use, to clarify when needed, I'm going to use a deck called the Tarot. This is by Lo Scarabeo, but the English name of it is the Tarot of the Nymphs, or the Tarot of the Celtic Fairies. A lovely deck that is. And then of course I'm going to use my runes to keep in that area of the world for the reading. Now, what I'm going to do is lay a this Kipper deck is a deck that has 39 cards, and as we lay them and as we talk for each sign, you'll see all of the cards in the end. Now, I'm going to lay it as a grand tableau. That means I'm going to put 9 cards on 4 rows and then have the last 3 rows. These 9 cards on the 4 rows are divided into different signs. There will be 3 cards for every sign. And of course, they're numbered cards. You can see this is the 26th, the 22nd. They're numbered cards, and each number, of course, would fall in its own house, in different houses, just like I did the mini grand tableau. But this is a grand tableau to fit in all of the signs. Now, let me start by mixing these. I got this deck about 2 months ago, and it was hostile to me in the beginning. I had to do all of the things that we readers do: sleep with it, play with it, ask questions, read for people. And then when I felt that they were kind to me and they talked, it's an oracle deck after all, then I started to use it publicly. This is the first time I'm using it in a reading here. So let's start. How the main male, has fallen on his house. 1. So there must mean something. These last three cards I'm going to put over to the side, and that will be at the very end. There are three messages there. There are three messages concerning what is out of our control, the obligations that we have, and relationships, overall relationships. Now, I'll start with the three cards for Aries. Aries. Now, we have the card of, let me see if I can get this a little bit higher to get, there you go. Nope, messed that up. Okay. I have the main male, which is the only card of all these 39 that has fallen in its house. And then I have here the poverty card and then the despair card. Well, the main message here is, first and foremost, there is a male. And when there is a male in the male card here, it means actually a person, a man. And it could be you if you're in a partnership, or it could be your partner if it's a male. Now, that is the most important, let's say, energy that is occurring to you around this time, the 7th. I'm going to be posting this reading on the 3rd of August. So there'll be days before and days after that this person is going to be not only high in your mind, they are going to be concentrating on you. But what is happening there? It will cause you pain, right? Poverty, I'm reading as pain. It will cause you pain because you're going to feel their pain. And also, concerning the despair here card talks to the union, being together. This is something that is not going to occur around this time, but you will be in tune with them, highly in tune with them. Let me put these down a second and take a Celtic fairy deck card and see what I have to fold. I'm going to have to do it just like, this is why it's what's so difficult to doing the Grand Cross, because it's such Grand Cross, the Grand Tableau, because it's so big, and no one can really see it. You'll be seeing it for each sign. So Aries, let's take a clarifier, one card, or as many as we'll need for these three. Okay. To clarify, Aries, I have the Six of Pentacles. This is the Six of Pentacles. I've got the Five of Wands and the Hermit. Now, as you can see, they sort of mirror this 1, 2, 3, right over those three cards. And the Six of Wands, the Six of Pentacles here is talking about being giving, coming to you, being giving of themselves to you. And the giving of themselves to you is about not regrets, but difficult times. Let me just put it in those terms, difficult times with respect to you. The communication may be of this kind. I'm not in a position of being able to see you. I'm not in a position of having a relationship with you. It will be actually communicated. You will understand this. And also what you will understand, this is the Hermit, that they will not be able to interact because of some of their own personal issues. It has nothing to do with you. Unless what they feel, their emotions, are burdensome for them. If they cannot take the burden of the relationship, the burden of their love. Now, all in all, let me take the runes. Where are you, runes? One rune. Thirty sets, a very difficult time for that person, and a time that you have to go through, and a time that they need to tell you what is going on. You will find that this is going to be at the same, there's a double-edged sword here, Aries. It is saying that finally you have the person coming out, okay? But at the same time, with that coming out, there's a bittersweet side to it, because it's yes, I do love you, but I'm not in a position to see you, to interact with you, to have a relation with you now. Okay, let's go on to the let's go on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, you have the Toil and Labor card, Toil and Labor card. The Great Fortune, probably the best card in this deck, the Great Fortune, and the Lover's card. Now, what's interesting, Taurus, about this, it's a very, very important and lucky string of cards, because the Toil and Labor comes over the journey, house of the journey, and the house of the journey talks about moving forward, talks about moving metaphorically and practically. But here it is flanked by both the Great Fortune, and the Great Fortune, ladies and gentlemen, Taurus, fall in the house of sudden wealth. Here, in this period of time, you may be contacted out of the blue and told, yes, you got the job, or yes, you won the lottery, yes, you did this, yes, you did that. But Great Fortune talks about the sizable quantity, but it also, Great Fortune also talks about your merits. It's something that you earned. So but it could be a winnings, but a winning because you constantly play the lotto, for example. But it's something that you put in and that you get back in return. And the Lover's card is falling on the house of the privileged lady. The privileged lady here is a person that, not necessarily a physical person. I'm not reading it as a physical person. Lovers are lovers. There's no choice in this deck. And it's talking about someone specific, Taurus. It's talking about someone specific in your life who has a specific place. And first of all, there are two messages here for you, Taurus. First of all, that you are on a trip with that person, and it's not going well. But what sets it off, what counterbalances, is the fact that either you finally got a job that you applied to, or you came into money and inheritance, or something of that nature. So there is here, just like for Aries, there is sort of a double-edged sword here. Just when you're very, very happy concerning your career, your livelihood, your work, you have this change in your companionship, some kind of change, and that you're not really sure what's going on. There may be some fighting, there may be arguing, excessive arguing, that shouldn't be, you know, in this kind of situation, in this point in time. So let me take three, where are you? Okay. 3 Celtic tarot, fairy tarot, nymphs tarot cards to see what they can add. Let me factor in these as well, because or else at the end I won't be able to have enough of those. So every time I'm going to pick those up. Okay, Taurus, let's see what, oh, one has fallen. Well, let's see what that is. That is the Knight of Wands. That is the Knight of Wands. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands over our journey here, the toil, the Knight of Wands. You're pushing forward nonetheless. The card of Justice, the major arcana, and the Five of Pentacles. And now, again, you know, these really talk to these cards together. They really, I'm so pleased that I've used both of these because the Toil and Labor card, which was in the house of the journey, does talk about having a vacation. If you're having a vacation, it's hard work. But not only that, it's hard work because of the difficulty with that other person. But here we have the Justice card. And the Justice card is telling you it is universal justice coming around. Perhaps you're not meant to be with that person. Do you have sort of a brother and sister relationship? Did you come together because there was so much likeness, but so much likeness that they seem to be a family member? And it may very well be that they are a family member. They could have been your sibling in a past life. And you're so close because of that, that when you get to a romantic stage, when you're at the beach, the sun is going down, and you start fighting, then you start to see that perhaps you don't need to be on vacation with your sibling. You know, you start to see different shades of the relationship. And it's quite interesting to see. Let me take the runes, one rune on that. Ah, time. Ah, Yera. Well, with this rune, this is telling you, Taurus, that it will be a matter of time. It will be a matter of time that that the relationship sorts itself out, but not only in a way of separating. You both will take the time necessary to understand what's going on, and that eventually you will decide together what is to be done, and it is going to be a separation of ways. Now, the Yera also has to do with the great fortune. It talks about in time you are meant to be your own boss. This is what I'm reading it. You're meant to have your own business. You're meant to call your own shots. You're meant to have something that is yours. Okay, now I'm going to take the next three, which would be for Gemini. Gemini, for you. Gemini, I have here the journey. The journey. I have here the false person. Ah. And then I have bad health. Now, it alone they would give you cause for concern, but they're in different houses. For example, the journey is over the house of the coffin. The false person is in the house of the house. And the bad health is in the house of the family room. Now, I'm going to wait for the clarifiers, but what I'm seeing here is that someone who was diagnosed with a terminal disease has taken a turn for the better, and it is a family member I'm seeing. And what is happening for many of you is that person is coming home. They're coming to they're leaving the hospital and coming home. This is one reading. But also, these two, the bad health and the journey, equal each other out. And again, the meaning would be the same because it overturns the idea of what is to be done, you know, what happens to the remaining family. I'm having the notion as well, I'm getting the message here, that This could be likened to something like the snake in the Lenormands, or something like the thief, or in the La Vera Sibilla. And here, the false person in the house of the house, for me, talks of something that, well, let's get the clarifiers, because what I'm seeing here is for you, Gemini, is that something that you thought was dire, something that you thought was terminal, is no longer terminal, and it is close to the family. It's an inner, very close family member. I'm going to take the 3 Celtic nymphs and see what they have to say. Okay, here we have the Devil card, and here we have the 3 of Wands, and here we have the Hanged Man. Now, it's a hair-raising experience for me as a reader to see how these mirror these messages. So there is something difficult in the family concerning an illness, and an illness due to some kind of addiction, here. Again, this card, the 3 of Wands that is has gone over the false person, talks about assessing what has been, taking stock of what has happened, taking stock of what has occurred and developed in the family. And here, this Hanged Man over the bad health that's in the house of the family room talks about seeing it differently, not seeing it as if it were a curse to the family, seeing it as if things that are developing are due to someone's choices, someone's personal choices, and it's not and that it's their responsibility. And this will give you a different perspective on the entire occurrence. I'm going to take now a rune on that, Gemini. Hagalas. Now, this is a rune that talks about your need, Gemini, to go within and understand what is occurring, and not take responsibility for what is occurring, but thinking and understanding that the people to whom this is happening need to take their own responsibility. So you have to see it more objectively and understand that it's a matter of personal choices that were made. Okay, Gemini, let's go down to now Cancer. Cancer, I have here unexpected income, distant horizons, and concern. Now, the unexpected income is in the house of expectations. So it's Cancer, it seems like there is an oxymoron here. It's an expectation, but it's unexpected. So it's as if you think, from somewhere I should be getting help. And the distant horizons are in the house of the imprisonment. And here it seems that you're starting to think, together with this concern, which is in the house of judication, you're starting to think that you are due something. You are due something, and especially in this moment of your life, at this maturity, and you're understanding that perhaps universal justice may not be working its magic toward you. Again, what I'm seeing here, Cancer, and forgive me for saying this, is that you're not taking responsibilities for your own actions. And those of you who have made some kind of, poor choices, you may have invested poorly and you lost money for those investments, those are typical reactions to a bad investment, a bad choice. However, there is something else. There is a sort of mixed message here, because these two mirror each other. And where there's unexpected income and there's concern, it's almost as if you are thinking, if something so good happened to me, why would it? You would almost be, you can't imagine something so positive happening in your life at this time. I'm talking about this full moon lunar eclipse moment, days before the 7th, days after the 7th. These are things that are on your mind. Let's take three of these nymph tarots, Celtic nymphs, Celtic fairies. Okay. I've got, again, the Three of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. Now, interestingly, the unexpected income is at a place where you're taking stock. Many of you may be thinking of retiring or quitting your job, but you're trying to understand if you have enough money to retire or if you have enough money to quit your job. There's this Hanged Man right over the distant horizons, and that just reinforces the thought of future planning. I'm not sure if I can make it, but perhaps this added time that I'm away from work, me quitting or me going and retiring, may be well worth my while in the long run. Then the Queen of Wands here over this card of concern and adjudication. There's a side to you, Cancer, here where I'm not saying you're at a crossroads, because it's not really a crossroads. It's not a crossroads where you have to make a decision. It's a place in time, this full moon lunar eclipse on the 7th of August and the days around it, where you're going to be thinking about, yes, I have to go forward. Yes, I am going forward. Those of you of a certain age may be starting to feel the weight of your years and starting to think, how can I improve the quality of my life in the years to come? Others of you who, especially those in the arts, Cancer, you're starting to think about, yes, I have created all of this work, artwork. I haven't probably done enough to market that. Maybe let's try getting another exhibit. Maybe I could I could develop this side of my activity and then eventually quit my stable job. So there's a lot of thinking around the job and around money. Let me take a rune for you. Cancer. Otala. This is the period, this full moon lunar eclipse on the 7th of August is indeed the key to your future, is the doorway, the pathway that you're going through to your future. And Cancer, you know that full well. Take stock, and take stock you should, because what is coming up is going to be the rest of your life. Now I'm going to Leo. Leo, you have here a message. You have here the privileged lady and sudden wealth. You can see the slot machine. Let's say that the message is in the house of the courtship. And that means, of course, a message from a loved one, from a significant other, of course. And here, the privileged lady is in the house of the mature man. And the sudden wealth is in the house of the mature woman. So the wealth is not really wealth in monetary terms, but it is a mature relationship that is being taken up to the next level. When I say mature, I don't talk about years. I'm not talking about a number of years that you were together. I'm turning around because I wanted to check my fan to see if it was on. I heard some noises in the background. But here I'm talking about a relationship that you both start to think, well, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves and make the decision together, Leo. Let's see if this is worth our while. Shall we go forward? Shall we go forward? And because the message is in the house of the courtship and it mirrors the mature woman house with sudden wealth, this definitely is going to be decided. Let's go forward. I'm going to take now three different tarot, the Nymph Tarot. See if I could. Here you go. There, I found a little place right there. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay, I have the Eight of Wands, those shooting wands, right over the house of the courtship, and it's going to be stepped up very, very quickly. The Ten of Pentacles over the mature man, abundance, and the Three of Wands. 3 times in a row this card has come out, assessing, taking stock in the mature woman. You know, this is all about really taking stock from what I'm seeing so far, and we'll be able to see that at the end of our the entire zodiac signs and with the last 3 messages. What I'm seeing is the time that you take stock. You want to remove things that are no longer serving you, and you want to use and develop things that you are interested in developing. I'm going to take now a rune for you as well, Leo. Sun, Soilo, the sun. Yes, it's going to be successful. Everything that has to do with your relationship. And the key here is that courtship communication message right there. The communication will make it possible for you to have a successful relationship. Good for you. Now I'm going to Virgo. Let's see these Kipper cards for you, Virgo. Here I have the official person, card number 22, and the official person is in the house of the wealthy man. Here is the main female card, and she's in the house of the message of concern. And the gift, which is the best card actually in the deck, which is in the house of the lovers. Now, it looks like something's coming your way, Virgo. Something's coming your way. First of all, there is going to be a proposal for many of you, an engagement for marriage, and it is the female component or the person like gender who has a more powerfully female role that does not want it to go forward, or who voices their issues more readily. And here it looks like everything's coming up roses, to tell you the truth. And this important person, this official person, it is in the house of the wealthy man, but it's not the wealth is a spiritual wealth. The wealth is love. We're talking about love. For many of you, this period is going to see you having being offered a ring if you're a woman, on your knees if you're a man, hand in hand if you're like gender, going to the municipal building, going to the altar. This is a time that will definitely make you, well, like the eclipse, it hides things, will make you hide things that you don't need to see, because this is what you should be concentrating on, Virgo. I'm going to take these Celtic fairy nymphs over that. Okay, now, this has come up, this is Seven of Wands, Seven of Wands is over that wealthy man. The Virgo, you're concerned about this offer, this new situation. This is the Devil. And here, this is the Magician. Now, as they come out, the Magician is over the gift that's in the house of the Lovers. However it develops, however it plays out, Virgo, you are the one who decides. And right now, that Devil in the house of the message of concern with the main female, it seems that you want to put a stop to anything that's moving forward that's not in step with what you feel. That's not in step with your style. That's not in step with how you want things to go. Not in step with what you think love is all about. And of course, this seven does talk to us about your reticence concerning that person's status. Now, let me take the rune for you, Virgo. Fehu, Fehu, and this is abundance. This is abundance. You know, I have to say, your spiritual abundance, you are one lucky person, Virgo, around this period. One lucky person. Good for you. Now I'm going to take the next reading for Libra. Libra, here we have marriage. Marriage is in the house of official persons. So, you know, let me first show you the rest. Thoughts, which is in the position of the courthouse, and expectation, which is in the house of the thief. Now here, there's a little bit of cynicism. You're a little cynical, Libra, because you're concerned with, well, first of all, you know how you think everything's going well right around the corner. That means that something will, you know, not go my way, will turn sour. And this is how you're thinking of things, because even though this is marriage and it's in the house of the official person, it does talk about ideas concerning businesses, contracts, signing contracts, and so forth, and anything that it entails. But the notion of thoughts in the courthouse sees you trying to weigh the different pros and cons concerning this either wedding, the proposal, or the contract and the business partnership. And you are really expecting the worst. You're expecting there to be traps. And this is what is cause for concern for you. I'm going to take the nymph cards here. Also a reminder to listen to your, not only your sun sign, but your moon and rising signs. Okay, Libra. This Three of Wands just wants to keep coming out. The Three of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hierophant. Now, you know, Libra, it seems that there is a lot of taking stock, and you're not the first and the last of the signs that taking stock has come. Well, you know, the Three of Wands has been coming up, but the Wheel of Fortune tells us that the more time you take thinking about what is going on, the better, because rather than thinking in material terms, the cards are inviting you to raise your gaze and look at a different level, a different dimension, and not think of a romance, a love, as being tied to material things. Any thoughts of concern, legalities that have to do with contracts here as well, the cards are telling you to try to see all sides to the story. Read all the fine lines and the fine print. Okay, now I'm going to take the rune, Libra. Two wanted to come out. One has fallen out. The first is gifts and need. And there is a need for exchange. There is what they're saying is that you need to, when I just said, read the fine lines, the fine print. Get to talk to all of the parties involved, especially if it's a business proposition. If it is a union between two people for romantic or emotional purposes, you need to, the runes are telling you, try to look in that person's background a little bit more. Get to know their relatives and their close friends. This will help you get a different perspective on that person and see what you're in store for. All right, now we're on to Scorpio. Scorpio, your three cards are Courthouse, and the Courthouse is in the house of the health, bad health. Message of concern. Message of concern is in the house of despair, and wealthy man is in the house of concern. Now, what's interesting about these cards is that, first of all, the Courthouse and the wealthy man are mirroring each other, and it seems that there is an inheritance coming in, but at the same time, it's coming in right at a moment when either you cannot go to court and to hear the ruling because you're in a hospital, or since you have a fever, you weren't able to make the appointment to talk to them, your legal counsel, something like this has happened. There's also a message of concern because of the situation. You cannot stand to the challenge. You won't be able to be there. You won't be able to answer to that. But there is something coming in for you. There is actually a status change for you, Scorpio. A huge status change. And alone, that is making you feel even more trepidation because you're not sure you'll be able to stand to that challenge, Scorpio. Three cards on this. Fear not. Fear not. Right, we have the sun. The sun right over the courtroom, the court house, and the health house. Everything will work out for you. It will work out for you. This is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is a card that does talk about regrets, and your concern here is that you have not done your homework, perhaps, or you should have done something that you haven't, and that is causing you concern. But here again, this is the Three of Cups. This is rejoice here. You are that wealthy person, you know, and have no fear, Scorpio. Things are coming up roses for you. This is interesting, very interesting to see. I'm going to take a rune on that. Urus, Urus, Urus. Urus is a rune that talks about the importance of this moment. The importance of this moment, Scorpio. Don't let time go by without, don't leave it on the back burner. If you're ill, or if you have a fever, or if you're away in another country and you can't go to the meeting, you can't talk to your lawyer, don't let that bother you, because what is happening now needs to occur. The fact that karmically you're not there, and that's karma biting you in the ass, so to speak. So just remember that, and just, you know, let bygones be bygones. The past is what it is. You can pick up the pieces from here on in. Very interesting for you, Scorpio. Now let's go on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I have here the community card, which is in the house of messages. The house card, which is in the house of false person. And the courtship card, which is in the house of change. Well, it seems to me that there will be, there are a number of things here. First of all, your status will change because of a job change, perhaps, and that will change the interaction that you have with a loved one. Then, There will also be, well, the house and the false person. This talks about a change in the relationship at home with a person that either you live with, you're married to, or your significant other. And you don't necessarily have to be living together, but there will be a change, a status change. Not a status in the sense of we're breaking up, we're going to become divorced. No, a change in terms of how much time we spend together. Who takes care of the food, who does the cooking. So that's the roles may be shifting. Also, you will be much more active. Get ready for this. You're going to be much more active at a social level concerning getting contracts, getting people to fund an initiative that you may be going on, getting into. You're going to be crowdfunding, I don't know how's it called, fundraisers in all crowdsource fundraise. I can't remember the words, but you're going to be involved in getting funds, research funds, some kind of funds for an initiative that you were given the responsibility to take care of. This is interesting. Let me take the Celtic Fairy Nymphs Tarot. Again, I'm reminding you to see your moon, sun, and rising for this reading. Will give you more clarity. Again, more clarity. All right, this is the Six of Swords. There is movement here. The Six of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Ladies and gentlemen, Sagittarius, you are going to be one busy person. These two, 6 and 6 is 12, it's 3. There is you have come to a position in your life where you are given a responsibility that is the pinnacle of your career. It's maybe the beginning of your career, but it is the high point of your career, because never before have you been given such responsibility and such an importance in a large company, a small company, whatever it is. It's all about making contacts, and it's all about reasoning, selling your ideas, but not so much selling because black on white, it's all, the cards are all on the table, and people who hear you out know that this is a winning opportunity, and the idea has win-win-win on it. And what can I say? What can I say? I mean, here you're going from a position where there was a lot of stress in your life, but now you're moving toward finally interacting with people who you also know, people from your past, calling on old friends. Here, do you happen to know anybody who could give me a hand on doing this? Do you happen to have an expert, know an expert that I could put in the IT department to do this? You know, that kind of thing. You're going to call back on friends and have them help you in that sense. A rune for you is Urus. Again, the Urus has come out. Urus is telling you that this is something that you must stand the challenge to. It's something that you have to go through with. If you think your initial reaction, Sagittarius, is that, oh my God, that's beyond me. Here I wanted a 9-to-5 job just to clock in. I didn't want all that responsibility, take my pay and go home. But the rune is telling you, stand to that challenge, because you will find you will have earned much respect from colleagues, from those, the powers that be, and for your own personal, not your ego, but esteem, your personal esteem. Good for you, Sagittarius. Now let's go down to Capricorn. Let me get a drink of water because I'm going to wet my whistle. Sorry to do that on camera, but I mean, a girl's got to drink, right? All right, now, Capricorn. Capricorn, look at these lovely cards, Capricorn. All right, we have the Coffin. The Coffin is in the house of thoughts. Imprisonment. Imprisonment is in the house of the gift. And the Child. The Child is in the house of the child. This is the other card that's in its house. And this for you, Capricorn, means a beginning, a new beginning. Of course, it means those of you who are pregnant will be having a child or will become pregnant, Capricorn. But this talks of, in any case, a new beginning. And what is the new beginning about? The new beginning, when the imprisonment is on the house of the gift, it does talk about pregnancy. Okay, there is a pregnancy for many of you. But the thoughts and the coffin in the house of thoughts talks about an idea that you have in your mind, you have been playing around in your mind. You want to change. You want change. You want change. You want a new beginning, and you want it now. Around this time, you're starting to think that I've got to do something more that I like. I need a new baby, you know, and if you're not in childbearing years, I'm thinking you want your new baby, you want your new toy, you want your own shop, you want your own, you know, your own activity. And let's see what the Celtic nymphs have to add to this. Celtic nymphs, what they have to add to this. Let's see. Capricorn. This is the Four of Swords. This, just a second, my camera did something crazy. All right, this is the Four of Swords. Okay, this talks about you waiting. Will take more time for you. It does also talk about those 9 months waiting, those of you who are pregnant. The Nine of Cups. Look, Capricorn, the Nine of Cups over the idea of the gift and imprisonment. If you wanted to become pregnant, you are going to become pregnant. This talks about you definitely going and doing something for yourself. Many of you, many of you will be working out of your home, opening a website and doing some kind of activity through a website. Personal, something that you like. If you like to sell jewelry, you're going to start purchasing from different other suppliers and do that. But it's something that you want to do because you're so passionate about it. You like to makeup. You want to do sell makeup. You like tools, farm tools. You want to sell that. All right. So this is definitely a change in your activity. And this is the Five of Pentacles. This talks about starting from the ground up, you know, and that's going to be the new beginning over the child, which isn't the child. This Five of Pentacles talks to me about you being in such a situation that the only thing you could do is look up because you're at the bottom. So this is going to mark the end. This is going to mark, not the end, it's going to mark the end of one phase and the beginning of another. You're going to stop doing whatever you have been doing so far in terms of your financial activity, your livelihood, because you're in for something new, Capricorn. I have 30 sats. 30 sats. 30 sats. What does 30 sats say to you, Capricorn? Capricorn, it's now or never. This is what it's saying. It's now or never. Either you do it now, you're going to get stuck doing what you've been doing for a while and you don't like. Okay, so let's now go down to Aquarius. Okay, what do the Kippers say to you, Aquarius? They say the card of high honor is in the card of high honor. Brava, bravi, bravissimi, bravo, bravi. This means that you are being awarded something, accolades. This is our typical Six of Wands card in the other in tarot decks. Definitely you have ended, perhaps you have graduated summa cum laude or cum laude nonetheless. But this is definitely accolades. Now we have then the occupation, great fortune. Need I say more? You are stepping into a job, into you maybe have got a scholarship for future study or started a practice of your own, some kind of internship. And then we have adjudication, which is unexpected income. This is one of the best moments in your life, Aquarius. concerning your career. And I hope you see that, because this also talks about those of you who have entered a contest, that you will be winning that contest. By the way, a little plug for my contest to win a past life regression session. Go to my website, take a look. So let me take the other tarot deck, the tarot deck on over these. Very nice. Love when I get some great messages like that, Aquarius. You're going to be in such a great moment. Okay, I've got here the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Four of Cups. Now, okay, we could say that love is taking a back seat. It's going to the back burner as compared to your livelihood, your studies, your research. But here we've got, this is a version of water. I mean, this is the air. This is you. This is charging forward. You have earned it, Aquarius. This is those accolades, those rewards, those awards that are coming your way have come because you, and will come because you have earned it. So just let that be on the back burner for now, that four. Know that the four does never only talk of boredom in a relationship like the Brighter Waits would like us to think, but it does talk about a firm foundation, so you can put it on the back burner, Aquarius. This is just wonderful. Let me take the rune for you. Yara, and it is going to be better in time. As time goes forward, your career will be taking off at levels unparalleled, that you have never reached before. Good for you, Aquarius. Now we'll go back, and I always say last but not least, but then I have these last three messages for all of us. All right, for you Pisces, pathway in the house of occupation, change is in the house of pathway, and the mature man is in the house of distant horizons. Now, look, it's interesting to see that you have a way. All right, this talks about your career. This talks about your activity, your livelihood, and it talks about a choice that you've made, but it doesn't talk about having to make a choice. You're seeing the results of your choice here. And the change that concerns the pathway does tell you that perhaps you may like to fine-tune the job that you're doing. Go and do refresher courses, further training, so that you can be more qualified on the activity that you're taking, different courses, reading different books, getting certifications. And the maturity here in the future tells us about how this path, these choices will lead to further maturity, but in your livelihood, okay, in the way that you do your business, in your chosen occupation, your chosen activity. I'm going to take these three Celtic fairy nymphs here, the nymphs cards. Okay. All right, I have here the Four of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Wands. Here's beautiful, beautiful. Many of you may want to consider pairing up in a partnership for your business. This, many of you may want to even take that business home. You may want to work out of your house, but in any case, this has to do with firm foundations being built on what you already have. And the Ten of the Cups here talks about abundance. It talks about how much passion you're putting into your work, and the return that you will receive from the passion you're putting into it. Passion in the form of refresher courses, study. That is part of our passion. Now, let me take a rune for this. Ah, Gifu, Gifu. This is the exchange. You will receive notoriety and wealth in exchange for your studies, your engagement in your work and your activity. And this rune tells you that you get what you put in. And if you play your cards right, Pisces, you're going to be so rewarded in future. Now, there are 3 last cards that are messages for us all. And what they are is what is out of our control? What is out of our control? And this is the card of the thief. This talks about last-minute decisions that are decided by other people that you cannot influence. And I'm going to take cards on that. I'll do that first. What is out of our control? It's like a wild card. The wild card that has to do with our funds, finances. That's out of our control. The trend, the economic trend, it changes, and there could be a negative. You could be fired. Let's see what the tarot here, the nymphs, talk about. I've got the 4 of Swords, the 7 of Wands, and the 10 of Swords. So we're going through a cycle here. The 4 of Swords, you're going, there's going to be a waiting, there's going to be a lull, but there's going to be an end. For many of us, it's going to be the end of an opportunity, the end of a job that we have, and the opening of another opportunity. It also here talks about us being sort of in between ideas, all of us, during this full moon lunar eclipse on the 7th, could be before, could be after, concerned about what shall I do with this job? What shall I do? Where should I go? Do they control me, or do I control what I do? And that's going to keep us thinking for a while, these days around the full moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse. Now, I have here the family room, which is in the house of obligations. It's in the house of obligations, and it does talk about how our time is conditioned in relation to our family and to our choices made concerning our family, our inner circle, and our not extended, it could be, yes, extended family, but more so our closest friends and family. Let me take here. I have the 6 of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. Ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about the family around this period, what we have is the cards that are giving us the message of being generous. Give of your time. Give of your time more than anything. Give of your love. Give of your emotions. And it is a time, though, around this 7th of August, where you'll feel that there's a little bit of conflict. You know that you are in a place where you want to stay, but you also know that there's a place you could be, but because of obligations, you're not there. But it's not weighing heavy on you. And also, this Page of Pentacles here it talks to us about obligations that are so easily fulfilled because perhaps, I don't know, you've become a new grandparent, and they have left you the child for an evening, and you're so joyful that finally you get to spend time with them. So it is an obligation, but it's a well worth, your wild obligation, that type of example. I'm going to take the rune on that. Isa, yes, Isa, the obligations concerning a new status that you have. Obligations concerning a new status that you have as a new grandparent, because that is a changed status, but also it can mean a new status at work and the obligations and responsibilities that fall on you. But that also distinguish you as such. The more you tend to those obligations and respond to those challenges, to those responsibilities, and stand to those challenges, the more you identify as the director, the boss, the chairman. Okay, so this gives us a reflective idea of what our responsibilities can bring us. Then the last card talks about relationships, and this is the mature woman in the house of relationship, in the house of the community and relationships. Now, it talks about maturity. And of course, maturity comes in many different forms, as I mentioned, for another reading and another sign. And it's not necessarily a woman here, but it does bring us to a position of understanding that we're part of a social network. We are one after all. And what a lovely card to come at the end of this reading. We are one after all. And it's suggesting that we raise our view to understand that each of us does have a responsibility in this oneness, in this network, in this large community. Okay, let me take these three nymph tarots here, tarot decks. I've got the Two of Wands, the Two of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands. Here it does talk about our being part of, well, our decisions to want to be part of a community or not. Our decision to understand what it is that we bring to the community and in the relations, in a relationship. Can I be the uncle in this family, in this community, in this social context, if I'm only a man and I only have one nephew? Can I also be the uncle of someone else? Can I open my view to understanding that we are all one? And what's interesting is here, usually I see the Two of Wands as an antagonistic card, but here I'm seeing it as something that will bring us to the other side of the moon. Because the eclipse is bringing us to hides things from us, and we have to figure out what it is and understand and get ready, rolling with the punches of what is being hidden to us. And it mirrors the card of the Queen of Pentacles, of passion. So use your passion, they're telling us, to get to the other side of the moon. Okay, so what? Things are hidden for us. Then let's go on a hunt. Let's go on a goose chase. Let's go on let's go see, let's go find out, a treasure hunt. Let's go on a treasure hunt. Let's go on, ladies and gentlemen, a treasure hunt. All together to find out what's behind that moon, the 7th of August, and what's hidden from us. I hope this was of help, ladies and gentlemen. But let me get one last thing, the rune on this. Protection. Ewats. This is the rune that we have nothing to fear going to the other side of the moon and going on that treasure hunt and looking for what is being eclipsed. I hope this was of help for you, ladies and gentlemen, all of the signs. And thank you for joining me. And if anybody has the time, please put the timestamps below. That would really help everyone. But do take save yourself to the end. You can put under the timestamp the end all zodiac messages, closing messages. And namaste. I will be back soon. Enter my contest. I'm having beautiful stories, and thank you so much to those who have already submitted. Welcome new subscribers, and thank you older subscribers. Bye-bye.